So a Congolese guy in Ireland got tackled by security for stealing in a store. And in the process of this guy running off, he smashed into an 83-year-old male, old gentleman, who apparently, at the very least, had his hip, possibly his leg broken. As far as I'm aware, he's, out of danger, but, his hip or his leg's broken, yeah. Poor man went through a lot of trauma. Anyway, when the security grabbed this Congolese guy, and by the way, not all the security are white, but oh my god, it's apparently a George Floyd moment, yeah. And of course, Rent-A-Mob's there straight away. United against racism, all the rest of it. And yet, when you look at the stats, oh wait, rising crime. By who? Yeah? Oh, can we look by ethnicity? What's changed? Yeah? Thankfully, top comment, how is the 80-year-old man that he knocked over and seriously injured when running away? How is the old man doing? The raving leftists are so grateful for this opportunity to relentlessly use this to protest and spout their nonsense. Protesters lauding a shoplifter, Ireland's George Floyd moment for sure. No sympathy for either, but lots for the 80-year-old that he hurt. Now, I think of this with Derek Domino. He makes very valid points here.
She's had a number of them. There's this.
What happens when race is at your kitchen table?
And this.
We're going to be talking about I'm not a racist, but...
And this.
It's wonderful to be able to bring some of the knowledge I have.
And then yesterday, she's gone with this sort of 19...
Honestly, what a valid point he makes here.
70s Black Panther Marxist look, a bit of kind of blaxploitation movies.
And I'm thinking to myself, I noticed that lately with something else, only in the last 11 days. And my comment was, I believe he's possessed, yeah? Because honestly, what we are seeing in Western nations happen, none of it is by accident. Absolutely none of it, yeah. But, carry on, Derek.
From about 72, Jackie Brown and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, how do you think she rocks that one?
Such a good point, it needs to be.
At your kitchen table.
And this.
We're going to be talking about I'm not a racist, but...
And this.
It's wonderful to be able to bring some of the knowledge I have.
And then yesterday, she's gone with this sort of 1970s Black Panther Marxist look, a bit of kind of blaxploitation movies from about 72, Jackie Brown and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, how do you think she rocks that one? It's certainly a look. Anyway, we'll get to that in a minute.
I'll leave you a link to this fine man's efforts. But yeah, Savadi, oh hell no. This is Tennessee Representative Justin Pearson. Yeah.
And you ain't black. Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I want to do this by partnering with organizations from the Boone Democrats to the Boone Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Oh, this is just...
Even from the bottom of slave.
Honestly, I would say in both cases they're handled. Yeah, they may think they're They may go with doctorates or whatever else, but they're handled. Oh, absolutely, they're handled. Big style. But I see that about most of the cultists, no matter what skin colour. Yeah. I'm not saying that about Derek, by the way. I'm just clicking back and forth here. That was hilarious. That honestly, it's well worth a watch. Fair play to Derek for this, but yeah. Thanks also to Savadi, yeah, and Ulysses of Iliu, Nigerian using American speech to try to divide. I'm guessing the people.
You are abusing that tricolor. You are actually abusing the this is what they fought for. So if you carry the flag, the tricolor, and you are abusing that tricolor, you are actually abusing the flag that the founding fathers fought for.
See, people forget, like, the history of Africa over the last few decades in relation to communism and Marxism and all the rest of it. I mean, most people weren't looking there. But the occultists were. They were formulating it so that they could successfully do this globally, you know. But yeah, I believe.
Ships, my people didn't quit. Even in cotton fields and rice fields.
Cotton fields and rice fields, yeah. And, you know, you look at the history of the UK, you look at the history of Scotland, right? Sorry. We were certainly we had nothing that could in any way have us looking at reparations for anybody. If anybody needs reparations, we do, when you look at the history of Scotland, for most of its people. This pish, based on skin colour, you can fuck right off for that.
My people didn't quit, even when they were whipped and chained and told that they had no name.
Oh, wait. Oh, what happens in the UK historically over hundreds of fucking years? Were people whipped? Were they chained? Were they hung, drawn, and quartered? With horrible things happened to them? Yeah. Lots. But no, this is about divide and conquer.
My people didn't quit.
What the hell is going on?
Even when they incarcerated us, locked us up for a crack cocaine epidemic created by President Ronald Reagan to fund the war in South America, my people didn't quit. Even when they...
Is it like sort of Malcolm X and look, I'm not aware much of this Timu, but I'm getting the impression it's, you know, a bit subpar. So, but honestly,
Pray that day comes soon. Anyway, let's get into it. What was this vigil about? What was going on? Let's dig in, shall we, and see what the crazies were up to yesterday.
I'm here exactly because I'm a human being.
I think we can see that. Liam, carry on.
I am a brother of Eve Sakila. I'm from Africa.
this is absolutely about the UN takeover of the world, basically, by and large. Totally. And Africa has been a hotbed of communistic, Marxist, you know, and with so many countries there. Why is it so many of them are failed states? It was experiments, absolutely experiments. And now you're seeing that experiment being rolled out in Western civilization and Western nations, and most people are blissfully unaware of what they're under attack by. Yeah. Lots of horrible things happen to white people on a daily basis, but nobody apparently gives a fuck. Even in the article, it's only as an afterthought that they talk about the 83-year-old gentleman that this thieving tossbag, barreled into in his attempt to escape. But when you look at the comments, nobody's wearing that. Like, seriously. And I'll speak to you soon.